Before you start paying yourself first, there's a couple things that you have to know. So if you're a fan of Robert Kiyosaki, then of course you know about the pay yourself first method. What it is every single time you get paid, you set aside money for savings and investing first before anything else, before paying your bills, before groceries, before anything. You set aside that money. Now this strategy would not work for somebody who does not budget already. So if you're in the beginning of your money management journey, you got a budget. And what is a budget? It's not limiting. It's not like, oh, you're on a budget. No, it's nothing like that. It's just a spending plan. So every single time you get paid, let's say I get $100, I'm going to divide out that $100 into different categories, pretty much giving each dollar a job. Because if you don't do that, then your money's just going to get spent without you even knowing where it went. And I like to use 4 different categories. So the 4 categories I like are bills, essentials, lifestyle, and savings. Down in the description, you'll see a video going more into detail about that, which is very, very important. So you can see that after this one. But yes, every single dollar is accounted for. That's the best way to not accidentally overspend, right? So every single time you get paid, you want to make a new spending plan just because, you have different things going on each month. And so that needs to be very flexible. So you want to make sure that you have been doing this spending plan for a while. And the reason I say a while is because, you can make your first spending plan, which is a great, great thing, right? But the first time you do it, it's almost never going to be accurate. If you're going just from just spending, getting money, just spending it, if you're going from that to now, wanting to be more structured and organized with your money, it's going to take, some trial and error. So the first plan that you do, it's almost never going to be very accurate to what you actually spend, right? So it's good to do this plan for a while, for a couple paychecks. And then you're going to start getting into the groove of things and knowing exactly how much you need to spend each month for each category. If you've never made a spending plan before and you want to try this pay yourself first method, what happens a lot of times is that unexpected things happen throughout the month. And let's say that you saved or you invested, a portion of your money, and then something happens and turns out you don't have enough to cover that. So you have to go into your money that you invested. You do not want to do that because money that you invested should be there for the long term, right? As it grows. So, God forbid that you invested money and you need it again and you have to sell it at a loss. You do not want that to happen. So the best thing to do is to wait a few paychecks, right? Depending how often you get paid. Once you start getting used to how much goes to each category, then you can start implementing the pay yourself first method after you're going to be for sure that that money that you're setting aside, for savings or investing, you're not going to need it, right? Because you got your bases covered. You have more than enough money to cover your bills and you're good to go. So that's pretty much it. I'm not knocking this pay yourself first method. It's very good as long as you can have enough allocated for each category. So thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. God bless.